Welcome to AI in 10. I'm Chuck Getchell, and every day I break down the biggest AI story in just 10 minutes. What it is, why it matters, and how you can actually use it. You know how your car's GPS doesn't just give you directions anymore? It reroutes around traffic you can't even see yet? Well, that's exactly what happened to artificial intelligence in 2026. Except instead of avoiding traffic jams, AI started avoiding all the bumps in our work, our research, even our daily decisions. And it happened so quietly that most people missed it entirely. Let me paint you a picture of what actually changed this year. For the longest time, AI was like having a really smart intern. You'd ask it a question, it would give you a great answer, and then it would completely forget you existed. Every conversation started from scratch. Every task needed your constant supervision. But in 2026, something fundamental shifted. AI systems started developing what I can only describe as persistence. They began remembering not just what you told them yesterday, but how you work, what you're trying to accomplish, and where you're headed next week. Think of it like this. The old AI was like texting with someone who had amnesia. The new AI is like having a work partner who actually shows up every day with your coffee order memorized. The technical term is agentic AI, which honestly sounds like something from a sci-fi movie, but here's what it really means in plain English. These systems can now plan multiple steps ahead, execute complex tasks without you hovering over their shoulder, and when they make mistakes, they catch themselves and fix them. Microsoft made headlines when their AI research assistants started generating their own hypotheses, not just answering questions scientists asked, but actually suggesting new experiments to run. Peter Lee from Microsoft Research said AI will now generate hypotheses, use tools and apps that control scientific experiments, and collaborate with both human and AI research colleagues. That's like your calculator suddenly offering to balance your checkbook for you. But the real breakthrough wasn't one big announcement, it was a bunch of smaller advances that suddenly clicked together like puzzle pieces. Context windows expanded massively. That's how much information AI can hold in its working memory at once. We went from about 8,000 words to over 200,000 words in just 18 months. To put that in perspective, the old AI could remember a short email conversation. The new AI can remember an entire novel, plus your work history, plus your preferences, all at the same time. Companies like NVIDIA didn't just sit on the sidelines either. They rolled out next-generation chips that made all this possible. These aren't just faster computers. They're fundamentally different architectures that can run sophisticated AI directly on your smartphone or laptop. No internet required. Meanwhile, something called vibe coding emerged. I know that sounds made up, but it's actually the most practical development for regular people. Imagine describing the app you want in plain English, like you're talking to a friend over coffee, and watching that description turn into working software. No programming languages, no technical jargon, just I need something that tracks my family's grocery budget and reminds me when we're overspending on takeout. And the AI builds it for you, tests it, fixes any bugs, and hands you a finished product. The self-verification piece is what really changed everything though. Earlier AI systems would confidently give you wrong answers. They were like that friend who never admits they don't know something. These new systems actually pause, double-check their work, and say, hold on, let me verify this before I give you an answer. That shift from helpful but unreliable to genuinely trustworthy, that's what moved AI from interesting experiment to practical tool. So what does this actually mean for your daily life? Let's start with work, because that's where you'll feel this first. If you're managing any kind of business, even a small one, you can now hand off entire workflows to AI. A retail manager told me she set up an AI system that watches inventory levels, predicts what she'll need next week based on weather and local events, and automatically places orders with suppliers. She estimates it saves her business about $50,000 a year just in reduced waste and labor costs. For families dealing with healthcare challenges, this gets really interesting. AI lab assistants are accelerating drug discovery by running simulations that used to take months. A parent with a chronically ill child might see personalized treatments become available faster and cheaper than ever before. The privacy angle is actually encouraging for once, because these new AI systems can run directly on your devices. Your personal data doesn't have to travel to some server farm in another state. Your phone can translate languages in real time. diagnose car problems from sensor data, even spot potential health issues, all without sending your information anywhere. But here's the thing that really matters for your career. The gap between I have an idea and I built something useful just shrunk to almost nothing. You don't need a computer science degree anymore. You don't need to hire a developer. You just need to clearly describe what you want. That levels the playing field in ways we haven't seen since the internet first arrived. Suddenly, your 10-person company can build tools that used to require teams of 50. Of course, this creates some new challenges we need to talk about honestly. When AI can generate realistic videos and audio, telling what's real from what's fake becomes a daily skill you need. When AI can automate complex workflows, some traditional jobs will disappear faster than we expected. But here's what I learned from building and selling my own AI company. The people who get displaced aren't the ones who learn to work with these tools. They're the ones who ignore them until it's too late. The retail manager I mentioned, she didn't replace her employees. She freed them up to focus on customer service and strategic thinking. Her sales actually went up because her team could spend time on relationships instead of spreadsheets. The key insight is this: AI doesn't replace human judgment. It amplifies it. The system can optimize inventory automatically, but you still decide whether to expand into new product lines. AI can draft your marketing copy, but you still choose the brand voice and strategy. Think of it like GPS navigation. It didn't eliminate the need for drivers, it just made driving more efficient and less stressful. Now let me give you something concrete you can try today. Because understanding this intellectually is one thing, but feeling it work is completely different. First, sign up for a free account with Microsoft Copilot or Google Gemini. Don't worry, you're not committing to anything expensive. These companies want you to try their tools. Start with something personal but meaningful. Maybe you're planning a family vacation, or trying to create a budget that actually works, or figuring out how to organize your home office for better productivity. Instead of asking one simple question, give the AI a complex multi-part challenge. Something like, help me plan a 4-day family trip to San Diego with 2 kids under 10. Our budget is $1,500. We need kid-friendly activities, reasonably priced restaurants, and a hotel with a pool. Also, figure out the best flight times from Chicago and create a day-by-day itinerary. Watch what happens next. The AI won't just give you a list of suggestions. It will research flights, cross-reference hotel prices, check activity reviews, and build you a complete plan. Then it will remember your preferences for next time. That's agentic AI in action. It's taking a complex goal, breaking it into steps, handling each piece, and delivering a complete solution. Try the same approach with a work challenge. Maybe help me create a presentation for my boss about why our team needs better project management software. Include budget estimates, timeline for implementation, and address likely objections about cost and training time. The AI will research options, build cost comparisons, anticipate pushback, and create talking points you might never have considered. Here's the really practical part though. Download an AI app that works directly on your phone. Google Assistant, Apple's Siri, or Microsoft's Copilot mobile app. Set it up to handle tasks locally when possible. Try using it for real-time problem solving. Next time you're grocery shopping and can't remember if you need milk, ask it to help you optimize your shopping list based on what you bought last week. When you're trying to parallel park in a tight spot, ask it to walk you through the steps while you're actually doing it. This isn't about replacing your brain. It's about having a thinking partner that never gets tired, never forgets details, and can process way more information than you can hold in your head at once. The vibe coding thing I mentioned, you can try that too. Platforms like Replet or Cursor offer free tiers where you can describe simple tools in everyday language. Something like, build me a simple app that tracks how much I spend on coffee each month and tells me if I'm on pace to hit my savings goal. You're not learning programming, you're learning to communicate what you want clearly enough that AI can build it for you. It's like learning to be a really good project manager, except your team is artificial intelligence. The most important thing you can do right now is start small, but start consistently. Spend 10 minutes a day exploring what these tools can handle. Not because you need to become an AI expert, but because understanding their capabilities changes how you think about problems. When you know AI can analyze patterns in large data sets, you start noticing data patterns in your own work that you could optimize. When you experience AI handling multi-step planning, you begin delegating bigger challenges instead of just simple questions. I see people every day in our AI hammock community who went from intimidated to empowered in just a few weeks. They didn't take coding classes or read technical manuals. They just started using these tools for real problems in their actual lives. The accountant who built a client onboarding system using nothing but natural language descriptions. The small restaurant owner who created a staff scheduling tool that considers everyone's availability and busy periods automatically. The freelance writer who developed an AI research assistant that finds relevant sources and fact-checks claims in real time. None of these people consider themselves technical, but they all learn to think in terms of workflows and outcomes instead of individual tasks. The business implications here are staggering, but they're not abstract future predictions anymore. They're happening right now in 2026. Development cycles that used to take weeks are finishing in hours. Customer service operations that needed large teams are running with smaller groups, plus AI agents handling the routine inquiries. But here's what the headlines miss. This isn't just about big corporations automating everything. It's about individuals and small businesses gaining access to capabilities that were impossibly expensive just 2 years ago. You can now build custom solutions for problems that seemed unsolvable before. The parent tracking their child's learning progress, the small business owner managing complex inventory, the freelancer coordinating multiple client projects. These challenges don't require enterprise software anymore. You can describe what you need, and AI can build it. That's not hyperbole. That's what became possible when AI systems learned to plan, remember, and execute without constant hand-holding. When they developed the ability to say, I think I made an error here, let me try a different approach. The risks are real, though, and pretending they don't exist won't help anyone. Deepfakes became sophisticated enough that spotting them requires specific tools now. Privacy concerns multiplied as AI systems gained access to more personal data for better performance. But the solution isn't to avoid these tools, it's to engage with them thoughtfully. Install detection software for manipulated media. Choose AI services that process data locally when possible. Learn enough about how these systems work that you can spot when something feels off. The people who will struggle aren't the ones who embrace AI cautiously and intelligently. They're the ones who ignore it entirely until their competitors, their colleagues, their kids are all operating at a completely different level of capability. This reminds me of when smartphones first became mainstream. The people who adapted early didn't just get cooler gadgets, they got access to opportunities that didn't exist for flip phone users. What we witnessed in 2026 wasn't just another tech upgrade, it was the moment AI stopped being a fancy search engine and became something closer to a thinking partner. The difference between asking, "What's the weather?" and saying, "Help me plan my week around the weather forecast, my work deadlines, and my family commitments, and check back with me if anything important changes." That shift from reactive to proactive, from forgetful to persistent, from assistance to partnership, that's what changes everything. Not just for tech companies or Fortune 500 enterprises, for anyone willing to learn a new way of approaching problems and opportunities in their own life. That's today's AI in 10. If you want to go deeper and learn AI with a community of people just like you, join us at aihammock.com. I'll see you tomorrow, my friends.